Time now for the temperature test, thanks to Sportsbet. And Kane, this is a projection for the eliminated finalists where you think their fortunes lie in 2026.
Yeah, no surprise. I've got Collingwood frozen. I don't think they'll make the 8 next year. I think they've got all sorts of challenges. It's going to take a miracle for them to solve them. I really like Adelaide. I'm not sure about the Giants, as we touched on last week, whether they have reached their ceiling and whether this current group has taken them as far as they are going to go. I love Freo. Their demographic is perfect, so I'd be surprised if they're not there on prelim final weekend next year. And those two up the top, they could be the equal grand final favourites, I think, or premiership favourites if Hawthorn can make some big moves in the off season, and Gold Coast don't need a whole lot to be right there again.
No surprises there with your Hawks running hot for next year, Kane. But running hot this year, it all comes down to Brisbane and Geelong on grand final day this Saturday at 2:30 p.m. at the MCG. Where would you rather be? And I'm just wondering, do you think the Lions can flip the script on Geelong? Of course, they met in the qualifying final. The Cats far too good that day, but we have seen it before. In 2003, it happened. In 05 and 06, the Swans and Eagles, they traded places from qualifying wins to premierships, and also in 2015 with Hawthorn. Can it happen again?
No one's going to give them a chance, I don't think, just because Geelong are so settled. So apart from Tom Stewart, they're well rested, their good players are in form, they're really healthy, they're well coached. Brisbane have done a power of work to get themselves in this position, and they're banged up. Lohman's sore, Dunkley's sore, who knows about Neil. Berry's the other one. So, yeah, I just think Geelong are in the absolute sweet spot, and it is going to take something extraordinary, one of the greatest grand final upsets probably, if Brisbane get this done going the long way around and with all the travel that they've had.
It would be remarkable, and these two clubs have just been so consistent as of late. I mean, the Lions, if we look at their record, it's now 3 grand final appearances in a row, and for the Cats, I mean, they have just been crazily consistent under Chris Scott, and here they are again, Kane.
Best 2 coaches in it. So how good's that? We have the best 2 coaches in the game facing off on the biggest stage of all. So Chris Scott, hard to argue that he's not the best coach. I think I said a couple of weeks ago that you got Chris Scott in the coach's box, you start 3 goals up. But Chris Fagan's not far behind him. And he's getting the credit that he deserves finally. But look at that record, and look at where they were when he took over to this position as an absolute powerhouse, Chris Fagan. So, yeah, it's going to be on, and I just love the way that those 2 coaches have gone about this season and all the challenges that they've faced and their ability to respond to those.
So you think the Cats, but do you have an early Norm Smith kind of prediction?
Be one of the running machines, Bailey Smith or Max Holmes. Probably Max Holmes for me, I think.
All right, this has been First Up with Kane Corns. Thanks to Sportsbet. We'll see you this time next week where we'll know the Premier.
What's gambling really costing you? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.